I think the feeling of being in the water is incredible. It's always like you're flying. I think it's really helped me get to where I am, not as a swimmer, but also as a person.
When I set a goal in mind, I'll do everything there is to achieve it. That's my motivation every day, is try to better myself, because I knew with small victories, small steps, that's when you start to see the bigger progress.
Swimming to me is a huge journey. It gives me such a sense of purpose, and I find such pride to say that I swim.
So swimming has honestly changed my life in some sort of way, but part of me now, part of my character, part of who I am as an athlete, a swimmer, and a person who wants to better myself every single day.
Okay, Manchester, you've got my whistle, okay, mate? Take mark!
I'm Mantas Korspelas. I'm year 12 and I've joined here since year 11. I'm a swimmer here at Mount Kelly, swim backstroke. It's been a year and a half now since I first came here, so it's been a blast. I didn't really like school in Lithuania. I felt like I was dragging myself. So leaving home was a really tough decision to make, but I knew for results to be achieved, there has to be sacrifices. Around summer 2023, I realized I wanted something different. I want to get into that next level in the sport and surround myself in the environment where I could compete and I could improve myself every single day. And that's where the looking and searching for a school for me to go to for the best swimming and academics, I would ask so many people, and all of them said Mount Kelly would be the best option for you. So that's when I went into contact with them, and the rest is history.
Push, easy.
Since I came here, I mean, Josh has done an incredible job, honestly. I put on like 10 kilograms of muscle. When the body's stronger in the gym and you're more capable of doing certain things, it kind of translates into swimming really well. The really big breakthrough was probably European Juniors.
Putting towards the atmosphere, everything. I looked up, saw my mom, saw all the Lithuanian people just cheering on for me, and to win there, it's just a surreal feeling.
I feel like mindset is one of the most important things in sports. I think my head's in the game. Everything's good. Try to push myself every session, see what my body's capable of, and hopefully it's gonna help me. And
I think that's the beauty of also working within a group as well, isn't it? You've got the individual side of it, but then also you've got the motivation of others within the group that are in a like-minded situation. And I think from a day-to-day basis, we're looking at those big goals. We've got that huge frame where we're looking like this is the big picture, and then we have to narrow it down, narrow the focus just to that week.
It's kind of slowly improving, because I feel like if you win one practice, win a couple more, you won the week, winning weeks, winning months, and at the end, when it's time to swim fast, you're really confident.
Because we understand that we are, a part in the journey, and you've got more to give when you go beyond them and you're a little bit older, when you go into university level, and we want to be able to set you up for the the best potential that you can get.
Yeah. I feel like the coaches, they don't just wanna raise good athletes, they wanna raise good human beings as well, to have manners, to hold themselves and behave really well, and just like understand that not swimming in a pool really fast is not everything, There's aspects outside of that.
It's really quite a unique environment to be able to just treat an athlete as a person first, and that is something that's taken time to get to. I think as soon as you take your eyes off performance and deal with the person that you have in front of them, what makes them tick, what are their hopes, dreams, what are their goals, what do they like doing outside of the pool, and focus on that and building relationships in the first instance, you tend to get to the end goal a lot quicker, which is obviously swimming fast.
At school, we always say this phrase, and it's like, a happy swimmer is a fast swimmer. And I actually do think that's true, because if you weren't happy, then you can't train to your best of your abilities, you can't swim to your best of your abilities, and then you won't be able to race well because you're just thinking of all these terrible things. And so I really try to just be happy and enjoy it. Hi, I'm Edie Price and I'm a Year 11 student at Mount Kelly. I was raised in Cornwall in a small town called St Ives by the beach with these incredible sunsets everywhere. I think I'm a really driven person, and I do think that one of the things that mainly drives me is my competitors. Thinking about winning, thinking about doing well is what gets me through a training session like
66.9. 66.9, finish. Oh, that's painful as well, well done.
I go through a hard session and I'm just thinking, I want to beat this person, I want to perform to the best of my abilities. Like, I always have these small goals in my head to sort of get me through it, because everyone knows a hard session is sometimes terrible and it is quite hard to get through.
So Edie's had challenges around injuries. She's still in a little bit of a challenge now, but she works with the support staff, she works with the physio, she works with our athletic development coach. And it's never easy.
I think the hardest part of my journey so far has been when I had an injury, because I didn't really know what to do about it. And then I had to overcome not being able to swim for a while, having to adapt my training after that.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to bring your toes up towards you. Good. And then coming all the way down. There. And then bring this one all the way in. Perfect. And how long's this been going on for?
Quite a while. I had injury first last year and it got better, and then it got worse. But I think it's just the amount of kick that I do. I have to watch how much I do, because obviously my ankles are quite weak. You don't wear fins too much.
Yeah, so the fins make it worse.
Yeah.
Okay. And how has it affected your performance?
Well, at the start I sort of just left it, and so it did get worse. I wasn't able to train kick, and then when it got really bad I took a bit of time off to try and let it reset, and that's when my performances started to like not be as good.
Yeah, and we had to take that break out in order to rehab that ankle to
Yeah.
a point where you then could go back into
Yeah.
full training schedule.
Yes, but now, because I've been able to recover, I'm now swimming a lot better than I did before,
Yeah.
because I gave myself the time to rest.
And how did you feel the support from coaches and the physio team as well? Do you feel like that helped with your recovery?
Yeah, I think it's just like, it's the best community you can have around here, because you've got coaching staff, I've got my house members, that like, you've got everyone who just help you out.
Yeah.
And like, they're always there to listen, they're there to help you through everything. And I think if I was in a different place to here, I'm not sure whether I'd have been able to keep going, because it was quite tough, to be fair. I feel like sometimes you think, well, what's the point? But there is really a point.
Yeah, especially when you're in those trenches of an injury.
Yeah.
To have that support system becomes even more evidently important.
Yeah, and it makes you feel good about yourself, knowing that people do actually care about how you do. And there's people, I remember, like, I would think, why am I still doing this? But then I was like, well, I've got my friends, I want to impress people, I want to impress myself.
Yeah.
Like, so I think it all just comes down to the coaching staff and the community of the school that really helped you through it all. So my typical day at school starts off with an early morning swim.
Wake up at about 5:20 in the morning.
Do our 15 minutes of pre-pool, and we complete our session, and then everyone will go to breakfast together.
Then I go to a couple lessons, and in the middle of the day during lunch we have another training session, swimming session.
In sixth form you get a free, or in my year I have 2 more lessons until the end of the day.
Have a snack, go back into a couple more lessons, and after all those lessons you gym after that.
We'll do a training session, whether it's race pace, threshold, or just recovery.
So that's I think the toughest training session we have.
We had the rest of the evening to ourselves to do work, revise, or just simply chill, read a book, and then get ready for bed.
The time management for my lessons and swimming means that I'm able to work to the best of my ability to get the best outcome for when I go to do my exams, like in summer I've got my GCSEs. And within the pool I'm able to completely focus on my swimming. I don't have to be thinking, oh, I need to revise this, I need to revise that, because I've already done it, or I know when I'm supposed to revise it, which makes it really helpful just for my brain to like relax a bit.
Right, so we're going to go, Mantas will go in on his broken swim first, there you go, and then we'll get Neve to film that, yeah? So you'll film Mantas's broken swim. Yeah, perfect. Nice work, 11-0. Right, bud, let's just go through yesterday's work. A couple of elements that we need to move forward with that we identified last time was slight body positioning at the 100 speed. We talked about your head being a little bit too high for the 100, but it was fine in the 50. So we'll just have a look at that. Well, okay, first of all, you don't need me to say, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Even under fatigue, we can't afford to allow breakouts like that. Obviously your hands separated straight away, slipped through that breakout stroke, but you've rescued it with your head positions. Your head position's looking pretty good there. So this is that slightly slower pace. You can see that your hips are sitting quite low. All right, and actually the other thing you need to consider here is you're coming out to the end of the stroke here and your hands are cupped. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to be straight.
Yeah, straight, fingers straight, completely flat, thinking about the full forearm into that palm with your thumb sticking out ideally, because you can just see the loss of power there towards the end. And I think at low level as well, you can afford to come a little bit deeper and allow your hips to drive that movement a little bit better. So if you're leading this process and going fingers down, your hip then follows that trajectory and you're able to go a little bit deeper. All right, I wouldn't recommend doing that for your 50 or your 100, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of increasing efficiency, just think it.
But I can't get the catch right because look, you can see my hand going in kind of flat.
It's also
but it's because, like, you think it's all hips.
Yeah, 100%. Also, from one side with your hips to the next should be, it should accelerate. So yeah, slow, fast, and that bit will straight away at that last little part of that movement should give you that angle here on the hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But all things considered, pretty good. And if the right doors open at the right time, we'll see Mantas on a senior international stage. The last Olympic medalist we had at Mount Kelly was a 200 fly swimmer called Federico Badisa.
Federico Badisi is in lane number 6.
We saw Chadwick going out like a train in the semi-finals. In the line for Federico Badiso. And of course you're going to celebrate.
He was the youngest male in history to win a European medal, which is amazing. But I've spoken to Mantas a couple of times about that, and we're due another international medalist at that level. And Mantas has everything he needs to be able to get to that level. But again, it all very much depends on what doors open at the right time. We've got to be the best when we're transitioning into senior level swimming, and I do think he can get there. So far so good, so we'll see.
I generally can see Edie going on to be a senior level athlete. What that looks like for her, I don't know. I would like to think she's going to stay in the UK and hopefully transition into one of the Aquatic GB performance centres. If she does that, you'd like to think she could be making world champs, she could be making Olympics. She has the talent to do that, and it's what the next couple of years looks like, and it's our job and our responsibility to try and open those doors for her, because in reality that's going to happen after her time at Mount Kelly. So we can just give her as much opportunity as we can and open those doors in the hope that she goes on to bigger and better things.
Every swimmer dreams of being in the Olympics, I remember I watched Paris and it was just incredible. So I think that ultimately my goal would be to make the Olympics. Just the thought of having this chance to be able to make it would just be insane, and it's what I've worked for ever since I was little, and I think it's what really is always in the back of my mind.
So winning an Olympic medal would honestly mean the world to me, because a lot of people chase their whole lives just to qualify for the Olympics, just to swim there. That would be nice, but I want to win at the Olympic level. That's what I'm chasing after in a really, really long period of time now. It's not like a year's goal, because the Olympics happen every 4 years. But I know, and sometimes I look at it, okay, I have like 3.5 years. How can I get prepared for the Olympics the best? So I would have the best chance at making a semifinal, final, or winning, But I don't look at it every single day being like, I'm training for the Olympics right now. No, I'm training for smaller steps that could help me and lead me into the Olympics.